right, so let's talk about DAG and how it's set to have a parabolic run. And yes, as crazy as it seems, $20 DAG by the end of the year is not off the table, and all the indicators on the chart are showing that this is absolutely a possibility. So I've got the daily pulled up with the GAN overlay, and real quick shout out about the GAN. If you're not following Matt on X, you should be following this dude. He's got the best TA I've ever seen, and it wasn't until him that I'd seen anything about the GAN, and I started using it, and it's spooky how it respects all of these points. And as you can see right now, we're at a point of resistance, but once DAG breaks this point of resistance, which is around 7 cents, you can see that there's really not much stopping it from going up to 20 cents. And you know, we're in March. So $20 DAG, 20 cent DAG, I should say, in March is a possibility. And we haven't even hit the halving yet. The bull run hasn't even started yet, and DAG could potentially be 20 cents. But maybe it gets rejected off of this arc here, which is a resistance point, comes back down, but then comes back up. And you know, we're in April. We're in April, and DAG could potentially be 30 cents. And the next point is this 45, right? But if DAG breaks past this resistance point, it could come up to this next arc here, which is 45 cent DAG. So we're talking about returning to an all-time high, and we're in April. The bull, again, look, the bull run hasn't even begun yet, and we're at an all-time high. So it gets rejected because everyone's going to take profits. Maybe it consolidates here, and we're in May, and we're in summer, and this is peak bull season right now, and we're at this inflection point here. We're at this resistance band with this 45 angle, and as you can see, there's nothing really stopping DAG from going up to about $1.20. $1.20, and we're in July here, which is pretty crazy to think about, but it's absolutely a possibility. Gets rejected here, but you know, we're still in August. But once it gets past this point here, again, this is a wide open box here, and there's really nothing stopping DAG from getting to $5.50, and we're in August, which is pretty crazy. And if it breaks past this band here, this arc, there's nothing stopping it from going up to $8-9. We're in September. Maybe it gets rejected. You know, we're in October. It's back down to $5. But once it gets past this band here, there's nothing stopping it from going up to $20. And so we're in November, and DAG could easily be $20. That is 100% a possibility, and all it's going to take is the bull run, but also some momentum to push everything. And I believe we're going to get that momentum just like what we saw with 𝗙𝗵𝘃. So I'm going to talk about 𝗙𝗵𝘃 real quick because it's all going to make sense. So as you can see, 𝗙𝗵𝘃 was going up anyway. It got past this point of resistance, but right here where you had this huge candles come up, and it busted right through the next resistance point, was this day right here. This is when the news about Coca-Cola broke. And so as you can see, everybody was talking about Coca-Cola using 𝗙𝗵𝘃 to verify ads. And right after this huge break in news, you saw the price pump up. And why is this important? Why is Coca-Cola buying or using 𝗙𝗵𝗻 such a game changer? Well, Coca-Cola has an advertising budget every year. This is just their advertising budget of $4 billion a year on digital ads, which is crazy. And so 𝗙𝗵𝗻 takes a cut of that, right? So here's the fee structure with 𝗙𝗵𝗻. So let's just say, for example, so they've got a $4 billion advertising budget. Let's just say, Coca-Cola spends 5% of their total budget on just 𝗙𝗵𝗻. So what does 5% of $4 billion look like? That's a take of 𝗙𝗵𝗻 of $200 million. Like that's just one client. That's just Coca-Cola. And remember how 𝗙𝗵𝗻 works is they're going to buy back. So they're going to take a percentage of this and buy back ads. So how does that apply to Constellation, right? So Constellation has the same fee model where enterprise clients can either pay in USD or DAG. And as you can see, it's billed monthly, and all it's going to take for Constellation to have a crazy movement like that is for a Coca-Cola-like announcement. And remember that this isn't even priced in yet, the Coca-Cola buybacks. Right here, all you're seeing is FOMO from people that know what's about to happen with 𝗙𝗵𝗻 now that Coca-Cola, with its massive advertising budget, is going to be using the exchange. So the buybacks haven't even hit yet. We haven't even seen the effects of whatever dollar amount Coca-Cola is using for 𝗙𝗵𝗻. And remember, last year, I think it was November-ish, Constellation announced the advisory board. And I don't think it's a coincidence, everybody that they added. Every single one of these people that they added not only has vast enterprise experience, but they're also knee-deep in federal stuff. And all it's going to take is for one of these companies to come out of the woods and make an announcement that they're using the hypergraph to validate transactions on the network. And that's the kind of action that it's going to take. And I believe that we are set to see this type of action. The other day I was on Telegram and I pointed out an article about somebody suggesting that Space Force is going to be using Bitcoin, which is pretty laughable if you understand anything about proof of work or how slow Bitcoin is. There's just no way that that's ever going to happen. And people just ran with it because the dude that wrote the article is actually an officer in the Space Force, but it was just his opinion, and it was just a master's thesis. And so I pointed out in Telegram about how this was sort of laughable, that somebody's idea was ever going to amount to anything, and how a running application like Constellation already has with the federal government, Iron Spider, is way better than someone's idea. And right after I posted that, 𝗙𝗵𝗄, which co-founder of Constellation, makes the best statement I've ever seen. Ideas make sense, actions make dollars. And that's absolutely correct. And I believe that we are going to see actions. Who it's going to be and what it's going to be, who knows? But we've already seen some of the fruits of this, and we've already kind of seen a peek behind the curtain. And you can see that with the National DigiFoundry. So those of you who don't know, Constellation's network is the backbone for this whole digital infrastructure. And some of the members of this National DigiFoundry are National Science Foundation, the Space Force, and the U.S. Department of Treasury. IBM and Microsoft are also a part of this. And the whole DLT network is built on a private instance of the hypergraph. So all of these members are going to have a Stargazer wallet. L0 tokens are going to be minted. And yes, this is a private network, but that doesn't say that the people that are using this, the businesses like IBM, Microsoft, Space Force, National Science Foundation, that they wouldn't want to take it to the next step and use the public network. And as everybody knows, or maybe you don't know, once they're on the public network, this is where metagraph fees come in. And so as these snapshots are going out to the public ledger, fees are applied. And so you can imagine, like with Coca-Cola example of alchemy, somebody like that spending 5% of their massive budget. I don't know who it's going to be, but all it's going to take is somebody. Maybe it's Omni Air. Maybe it's H&M. Who knows? But somebody is going to build on this network. I am absolutely convinced of this. And when that does happen, I believe we're going to see the same thing that happened with alchemy and the Coca-Cola announcement. You're going to see this massive spike in engagement, and then you're going to see the price just go up from there. And so, this might seem crazy right now, but it's absolutely a possibility. You guys just better buckle up. That's all I can say.